Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. It's the start of a new week. And I'm just heading home from my regular job this morning. I got to unload a bunch of stuff and then load up a bunch more stuff. So this week, I'm home all week. So I've got some big plans for the week. I've got a 2,000 foot fencing project. It's tear out old barbed wire and put in new barbed wire. So I'm gonna get that going this week. I probably won't finish this week because of letting concrete set, get all the structure set up this week and the old stuff torn out. And then next week, go stretch wire. I've also got a fence on the ranch to start on. We'll go over there this morning and get one or two, cattle guard, get one or two posts put in the ground over there, H-brace posts, just to get a starting point. The hardest part of any project's getting started. Rebecca goes to high school in town 2 days a week, so I'm gonna do one of those days this week, give my wife a break since I'm home and available. And it's such a long drive, it's a little over an hour, so it's not like we drop her off and then come home for the day. We have to stay in town all day. So I'm gonna go to the scrapyard. I got a whole trailer full of scrap metal and stuff from some fencing projects I've tore out over the last couple months. And then I'll get a pallet of concrete and a bunch of other stuff while I'm in town. That'll just kind of be my town day since I'm already going anyway. So hope you'll join me for a week of ranch and homestead and stuff. We'll see. Next truck will have a backup camera. Finally got loaded up. Got the skid steer, got another truck full of tools. It's been a while since I've been in fencing mode. Kind of had to remember all the stuff to get. But today we're not building in any, stretches of fence. Today's projects at both places are just gonna be setting pipe posts for H-braces to get started, to start making a definitive line. So if we get, 3 H-brace posts spaced out, put in here and there, and then over at the ranch, if we get 1 or 2 posts put in at the end and the beginning, and then I can get some direction from the family on what else we're gonna be doing there. But whenever you're doing big fence, not backyard fence. You're building fence in town, doing a 100-foot run or something like that in your backyard. That's not very hard. Well, I guess it could be hard, but when you're gonna go do a 2,500-foot run, you gotta line things up a little more so your fence doesn't end up like that. So you gotta have definitive anchor points and starting points, places where the fence might turn, get all that set up before you put any wire out or T-posts out or anything. So I think both of these projects together are probably close to a mile combined. So we'll head on over to the ranch. We'll start there first, get a few posts in the ground, and then we'll head on over to the other side of the community where I'm doing a fence for somebody else and get started there. The newest tool I've added to the toolbox is, oh, there's Drew. Hey, Drew. Is the Starlink Mini. So for all of you out there in the civilized world where cell phones work, count your blessings, because there's still a lot of places in the West where cell phones don't work, and where I live is one of them. And it's always been a real big pain if my wife needs to get a hold of me, or the biggest thing is in an emergency, being way out here, you couldn't call 911 because cell phones don't work. But now with that bad boy, even in standby mode, which is the cheapest plan for the Starlink Mini, it's $5 a month, I can still text message and make voice calls on my phone, which is super handy in case of emergency. My wife needs to get a hold of me or something, because there's times where once I leave the house, or it used to be when I left the house, there was no getting a hold of me for 10 hours by the time I got home usually. So this will be kind of a game changer for our family. Super awesome.
Usually get 60 pound bags, right? This is stuff he got.
Yeah.
I don't know why he got these 50s. No, 50 feels for some reason way lighter than 60. Yeah. I just hate those 80s that Ryan gets. Yeah. Those 80 pound ones are dumb. He has some 90 pound ones that are dumb. I don't know where I've never seen a 90 pound one, but those ones are really dumb. Yeah. How many do you think we need? At least 20, but we might not get it all in one shot. Because we usually put 4, and that's 240.
All right, I got my orders from the boss man. So we've got this field out here, and there used to be an electric fence here, like 3-strand electric fence. And we put it in, and it was temporary, which happens a lot on ranches. That was a decade ago. I'm sure a lot of you have temporary things that are still there. It's just the way it is. So we're gonna rebuild this. And this is our horse field. This is where the horses hang out. So we're gonna take out this gate and all the wood's going away. And so we're gonna build about 100 feet of pipe corral going that way. And then we're gonna have pipe all the way across, and then pipe coming down the road here. And then pipe from here to the road gate, replace that opening. I'm done with railroad ties. I'm done with wood. Never again. It rots, it burns, no more. So today's start is we're just gonna, we gotta set places to start. So we're gonna reset that one, because we know this opening is here and it's gonna stay the same size. We're gonna go out, because this field takes a bend, we're gonna go out and set a change of direction post, and then go set the one on the end. And then we'll give it a few days to, harden up, and then we have points to where we can ratchet wire to get us a nice straight line, and then we can go from there. So this is gonna be like a 4-pallet concrete project. It's a lot. You'd think my arms would be bigger for mixing all that concrete, but they're not. Like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, all my strength is in my legs. All right, we got some railroad ties ripped out. That one just fell apart. It was actually being held up by T-posts. Don't use wood. So we'll drill some holes and set concrete. Our holes are 3 foot deep by, the auger's 12 inches, but by the time you clean it out, it's like 15. And they usually take between 250 and 300 pounds of concrete a hole. That might seem like overkill, but concrete's the cheapest part of this whole operation. It's like $4 a bag. What's another bag? On to the next hole out here in the middle of the run. That meadow grass, you'd think that dirt would be real soft out here, but it's hard as a rock, not because the soil itself is hard. That grass, those grass roots are deep. I remember back in the day before we had our own equipment and we had to rent stuff, we rented a trencher to run a water line out here, a walk behind trencher. That was a mistake. It took forever. That soil was just a solid root mass of nice grass roots, but it was tough. Okay, here I am at the next project for the next couple weeks. This is about 2,000 feet down to this woman's house. This is the only fence on her property that her and her husband didn't redo years ago. Look at that. Completely rotten all the way through. I guarantee that pipe I put in the ground will never do that. At least not in my lifetime. It's another day. Today's school day.
Woo!
It's 7 o'clock, we're heading to town. Rebecca goes to school 2 days a week for in-person instruction. So, try to help out since I'm home this week doing my part. I'm doing the duty today. Made it to the scrapyard. Got $40.95 for 1,260 pounds of stuff. I don't know how people think they're going to make money doing scrap stuff. The only reason I bring it here is because they don't charge me to dump it. If I took it to the landfill, I'd have to pay the landfill, because I think they truck it here or something like that. I don't even care if they don't pay me for it here. At least I don't have to pay them. So $40, that'll get me lunch and pay for I gotta buy a formal ticket for Rebecca. Evidently she's gonna go to winter formal. Don't ever let your daughters grow up. Say what you will about living in California, but at least there's always one of these nearby, and it's only 2 hours to the beach. One more time if you can get it. It's a new day. Made it through town yesterday. I hate going to town. I need to fuel up equipment, unload the concrete from yesterday, and load some more tools for projects today. I'm right about at the limit of what this skid steer lift. This is 3,300 pounds of concrete, and I can sure feel it when I lift it off here. It's as high as it's gonna go. it any higher, I'll probably tip it forward. It'll move it, but not very high, and I don't like to do it for very long. Now I'm on to the fence. Started putting pipes in the ground yesterday over here in the other side of the community. So I've got another hour in the day, so I'm just gonna start ripping out the old fence, pulling old barbed wire down and just piling it up on the ground. And then tomorrow I'll bring the skid steer over, and I have a wire winder upper tool that goes on the auger. So all this wire, I'll just attach it to that and start winding, and it'll just zip right onto a roll. So I don't have to hand roll this stuff or bundle it. It'll make it go super quick. Another morning. Time to get going. First things first. Oh, Trixie. Chickens. What do you want, chickens? Go look for food in your feeder. Loaded up, heading for home. I got all 2,000 feet of wire and old posts torn out today. I didn't get all the posts picked up and piled in one place, but I'll bring my side-by-side back tomorrow when I can drive along and do it. Got all the wire rolled up. Got a few more brace pipes in the ground today. Those will get hardened up, and then I can stretch taut wire tomorrow and pound T-posts the whole way. It's pretty warm today, 77 out. I thought winter was here, but I guess summer's back. Grass growing weather. Hopefully these warm days will get the grass growing up. Old rancher told me once that if the low at night and the high in the day total over 100, that's grass growing weather. And it hasn't been getting super cold at night, so I'm sure in the next few days of this warm weather, the green grass around here will reach for the sky. It's finally Friday. Just getting loaded up again for one more day. Out building fence. It's been a long time since I've got a whole weekend. I've been super busy the last couple months helping my mother-in-law move and going hunting and stuff. So it feels good to get back to work. Got all the T-posts pounded in on probably the first 500-foot run. Not bad. I bet that doesn't deviate 2 inches in 500 feet. I ended up reusing all the old T-posts from this 2,000-foot run. It just had them scabbed in here and there from years of being, repaired. So we pulled all the T-posts and then just started on this end, all the used ones going that way. We used all those. We got all the wood pile out today and brought up towards the house, and she's gonna use it for firewood. It's probably 80-year-old juniper posts, but they'll make great kindling, I guess. At one point, they tried growing some fruit trees and grapes in a garden, like all of us do. But they're gonna give up on that. It's a nonstop battle up here. Squirrels, birds, your own animals, gophers. We have all those fruit trees at my house, and last year was the first year I've ever had peaches in 5 years. Oh, and the weather. Right now, it's January. It's probably 70 degrees. These trees are gonna start budding out. They'll bloom, and then it'll snow and knock all the blooms off, and we still won't get any fruit. You can hardly ever win up here. So the fence that's around here, old barbed wire fence around the trees, we're gonna take it down. It doesn't need to be here anymore. We're gonna use those posts on the rest of the fence. They didn't buy more T-posts for the fence because they didn't know how many we were gonna need. So once we get all these in the ground, I can go measure and get a count, and they can go buy more T-posts for me. That was my week. Just a whole lot of fence building. I do a lot of fence building. I like building fence. So hope you enjoyed the video. Not a lot of how-to stuff in there, just kind of a week in the life of living out in the middle of nowhere, trying to make a living. So I'm gonna go take a shower, shave, go to a restaurant and get a nice steak and have dinner with my lovely wife and a couple other couples without our children. It's gonna be great. So thanks for following along. See you next time.